Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name is Ross, and as always told, I had a voice of radio, so today I'm going to be looking at all of the cards that we are losing in the rotation when BreakPoint goes on September the 1st. That's right, the rotation has been announced. It is happening on the 1st of September, and it is going to be Sun and Moon on. I've already done a video showing you the primer, the big losses across all the sets. I've done my video looking in depth at Breakthrough, so today it's time to look in depth at BreakPoint, and then of course tomorrow I'll be back with a lovely video looking at what we lose in Fates Collide and so on until I've done every set. So do keep checking back. I will try and update the links in the description every time we do a new set. But by the time we've done these videos, you will be fully prepared for the rotation. You will know everything we're losing, big and Fringe. So starting off then with Fringe Plays, we are losing Durant. Now, Durant's not a card that's seen a huge amount of play, although it was for a small period of time a popular milling option. If it had any damage counters on it, and that's where Rainbow Energy would generally come in, then you discarded the top 4 cards of your opponent's deck. Following in the grand tradition of the old Durant, it never set the world on fire, but people played it here and there. We also are losing Golduck Break, a card which, when it was announced, everyone was scrambling to figure out, would it work with Archies, would it work with Archies, would it work with Archies? No, it wouldn't, because it's not a real card. It doesn't have a retreat cost, weakness, etc. What it does have is a really nice ability that allowed you to just move energy around, and we've seen with cards like Aromatisse in the past, this is quite good. But being a stage 1 break, it just never was particularly good. Little bit sad, ladies and gentlemen, but these things happen. In terms of cards that used to be cool, we are losing Slowking. Slowking had a really nice ability for you, not for your opponent. Once during your turn, flip a coin. If heads, move an energy from your opponent's active to one of his or her bench. This was one of the many Pokemon that was, for a while, played with Seismitoad, and tournaments were won with this. You stop and playing items with Seismitoad, and then Slowking moves their energy. Kind of fun. Similarly, we are losing Manaphy EX, and actually, although I've put this in the you used to be cool category, this is going to see a resurgence before we hit the rotation with Lapras, because Lapras is getting good again. And this is a nice one. It just gives you free retreat. Gives free retreat to Pokemon with water energy attached. It's cool. We're losing the Ascension Phantump, by far the best Phantump, and if I'm mentioning a pre-evolution here, you know it's got to be good. 1 colourless energy, although for a while we had Dimension Valley, so 0 energy, you just got to evolve up into a Trevenant. This got a lot worse when the X and Y Trevenant was rotated. It's still good in Expanded, but then again, it's still legal in Expanded. We are losing Trevenant. Not the really good one, but we are losing the one which just made sure your opponent had to pay a little bit more to attack. It was a fun little tech, but it was only ever a tech in other Trevenant decks. It was never particularly good on its own. More importantly, we're losing Trevenant Break, which again hasn't seen play in Standard since the last rotation when we lost X and Y, but oh my goodness, 2 energy, Silent Fear, 3 damage counters on each of your opponent's Pokemon. When combined with the X and Y Trevenant and Dimension Valley, it was over the top good. But like I say, it's not really seen play for a year since we had the last rotation. We're losing Garchomp, which is very sad for me. I went to Liverpool Regionals in 2016 and bubbled top 32. I had the points, I didn't have the resistance. With this, in a large European tournament, it was so good. Unfortunately, Bite Off was a really good attack when EXs were everywhere. You accelerated energy with the first attack, you had free retreat, you had strong energy, and Bite Off would KO most EXs. As soon as GXs took over the format, this was over. We're losing Darkrai EX, a deck I really liked playing against with Garchomp. It was quite good as a speed deck, using Dark Pulse to get energy out and then hit for big damage, but the reality is it's not been that competitive for a while. It ended up being a bit too slow. We're losing Scizor EX, and Mega Sizzle EX. These did see a little bit of play for a while. Notable UK player Luke Kirkham did play these for quite some time, and it was quite nice. Mega Sizzle hitting for 120, discarding a special energy or a stadium. It was quite nice. It saw a brief resurgence as Gardevoir started getting quite popular, but this was one of those decks that was quite good at a period in time, and it was quite nice. And then the format moved on, and it just couldn't keep up. And we're also losing Raticate Break, a card that I and many other people have tried to make work for a long time. Double colorless energy, put your opponent down to 10 HP. Use it with something like Hypnotoxic Laser, use it with something like Ariados, etc. Try and poison them and then use this. More recently, people, myself included, were talking about Nihilego. But unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, as much as it looked like it was going to be good, and people did play it, it never really lived up to the hype. Now, there aren't that many big losses from BreakPoint, but the ones we're losing are going to sting a bit. We're losing Greninja and Greninja Break. That entire deck is gone. I mean, just in time, we've got Greninja GX coming out that with the new Frogadier could actually be good, but Greninja has been one of my least favourite decks for years. If it bricks, which it does a lot, it's rubbish. If it doesn't brick, and sometimes it doesn't, it beats anything. Every time I played against it, it ran brilliantly. The one tournament I played it in, it bricked like nobody's business. And I stole the regionals winning list right from David Hockman. He's lovely. So it was a good list. I hated it. It was so inconsistent, but when it worked, it was the best deck in the format. I am glad to see it go. I have lost patience with it. We're losing Espeon EX, which got a really nice attack for one colorless energy, just evolves your opponent's Pokemon. And hopefully you've got to the point where they've got enough damage on that you'd evolve, they get knocked out. For a while, people were playing Garbodor with Drampa. I mean, they still are, but they were really focusing on stuff like Po-Town to try and spread damage around, and then using Espeon EX to evolve. That's fallen out of favour a little bit, but it is still seeing some play. It's nice because it can fit into any deck where you might be spreading damage, but unfortunately now it's only in Expanded. We're losing Garbodor. This is a phenomenally big loss. It is the only universal ability lock we've got, and it's going. Alola Muck will not fill the gap because it's basics only. Glaceon GX will not fill the gap because it's only GXs. Slacking when it comes out in Celestial Storm will not fill the gap because it's only when it's active. This was by far the best ability lock we've had, and given that Silent Lab is gone and Hex Maniac are gone, they went in the last rotation, ability lock is a darn sight harder than it used to be. And the other huge loss is Sudowoodo. Sudowoodo is great. I recently suggested that they don't have many good non-GX fighting Pokemon in the format at the moment, and everyone went, Buzzwole from Forbidden Light, and they're right. It's a great card when your opponent has 4 prizes remaining. The fact of the matter is, if Buzzwole was that good, people wouldn't also be playing Sudowoodo in tournaments where Forbidden Light is legal. But people are still playing Sudowoodo because for 2 energy you can copy the last attack your opponent used. Duskmane Necrozma hates it because you're doing a lot of damage and then they can do it for a counter energy. It's great, and I don't think we have a great replacement at the moment. Maybe Lycanroc from Forbidden Light, but the fact of the matter is, in these big Buzzwole decks post-rotation, we're going to still be playing Buzzwole from Forbidden Light. It's a great card. But we need a 1 or 2 energy Pokemon that's a non-GX that doesn't rely on your opponent having a specific number of prizes. We don't have it right now. Now, in terms of the trainers here, we're losing All Night Party. It's all a little bit of play here and there, just allowed you to essentially wake up and heal 30 damage. Kind of cool. We're losing Bursting Balloon, which did see quite a lot of play for quite a long time. I played it in my Garchomp list. Other people played it in their Greninja list. More recently, it's been played with Garbodor, so it turns off abilities during your opponent's turn, and then falls off so you get abilities during yours. That's all play with Zoroark. Either way, it's going to be missed. We're losing Delinquent, the most annoying of cards. You discard a stadium in play, and your opponent discards 3 cards from their hand. Catch it right, your opponent has a 0-card hand, and if they don't top deck, they lose. People who can use Delinquent well have been winning tournaments with it for years. We're losing Fighting Fury Belt. Extra 40 HP to basics, extra 10 damage. Decks like Ho-Oh are absolutely loving this, but this has been seeing play ever since it came out on a variety of different Pokemon. Ho-Oh's just the latest, and it would continue to see play. It's sad that it's leaving. Boo, hiss, etc. We're losing Max Elixir. This might be the card I am most upset about from BreakPoint, other than Garchomp, obviously, because this added speed to decks that sorely needed it. The aforementioned Darkrai, loved it. Ho-Oh loves it. Duskmane Necrozma loves it. Basic Pokemon that might not have the speed otherwise love it. And people used it as well as stuff like Kiawe, as well as stuff like Solgaleo Prism Star. Big fan, really good in lots of decks. It's over, ladies and gentlemen. It's over. Although maybe for other people it's Professor Sycamore that is in fact the biggest loss. Discard your hand, draw 7 cards. We got it right as Professor Juniper was rotating, so it's been a very, very long time since Black and White came out, since we actually had a format where we didn't have this card. It's great, and we're still going to have Cynthia, and we're getting a reprint of Copycat. It's not the same, ladies and gentlemen. This card is going to be sorely missed. We're losing Puzzle of Time. Puzzle of Time lets us recover anything. It's been great in Zoroark, but it's been great at just recovering cards we couldn't otherwise recover. Given the special charge is also rotating, we now can't recover special energy anymore. Well, outside of weird decks like Gardevoir. That's going to suck. We're losing Reverse Valley, another one of those 2-sided stadiums, so both of those are gone now. It did an extra 10 damage for Darkness Pokemon, or meant that Metal took 10 less. Generally saw play with Darkness Pokemon. And we're losing Splash Energy, which really was only ever played in Greninja, which is also rotating, but it, meant that when a Water Pokemon got knocked out, it went back to your hand. It was quite nice. We liked it. As a side note, we're not losing Max Potion because it was reprinted in Guardians Rising, and we're not losing Pokemon Catcher. It's actually coming in Celestial Storm. So yay. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is everything we are losing from BreakPoint. Some big losses, some not so big losses, but some things are going to change. And with cards like Garbodor and Sudowoodo and Professor Sycamore and Max Elixir rotating out, yeah, things are going to change, ladies and gentlemen. Things are gonna change. But I want to hear from you. I want to know what cards you're gonna miss from BreakPoint. So tell me all your thoughts on the rotation. But the one thing I want everyone listening to this to write in the comments is one card that you are going to miss more than any others. Go nuts! Be nice. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio where you can do so. But by far the most important thing as always is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross and you've been watching PTCG Radio.